Well, good morning. We're on part 3 of the offsite consultation. Oh, and I didn't tell y'all we are in the Texas Hill Country, Central Texas, which I think those of you from Texas probably, you can't look at that and not say this isn't Central Texas, right? Anyway, I want to point out something obvious, which is these rocks, and that'll come into play here in a little bit because I think we can use these to fix this pond. But one of the things in part 2, I mentioned they didn't like all this organic material coming in, and basically it was a quickie video just putting some either log dams or brush dams along the ravine to catch it. And there's also an opportunity to maybe come about right here and put a sediment pond, a final pond that would overflow, catch all the sediment so clean water comes in. You would have the outflow come out just on rocks, and that would clean the water, aerate the water before it went into the main pond. Now, I'm not proposing this right now. Right now we're just here to kind of do fixes on what needs to be fixed now. This pond is beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, this is beautiful. It's when they were talking about putting the Dammit pond sealer in it, this was 40 buckets, which makes it way bigger than my new pond. I guess we'll just say that. It's huge. Anyway, walking up, the first thing I noticed when I walked up a week ago is we're at full capacity right now, but can you see the dam? See if y'all see what I'm seeing. It's that headspace thing that I was talking about and I've been dealing with my encroachment pond. But there on the right side, we've got pretty decent headspace as you get to about right there at the center of the screen. When I was over there, it looked like 18 inches. So on a big gusher, I mean, there's a real good chance it's gonna just bust out the top of that dam, and once that happens, you're gonna lose the dam. And keep in mind, we can get 3 inches in a day, and we can get 12 inches in a weekend or a week, or we can get nothing for several months. But what we got to be ready for is those big rain events. Anyway, so we're going to walk over to there to the overflow because that's where most of the discussion is going to be. But my first observation when I was out here is, man, we got a good roof area. We got a real good roof catchment area. I mean, look at the beautiful hill country. I mean, this is just gorgeous. But you got all this hill area on the high side, and it's flowing down into the ravine, and then from the ravine it's dumping into this pond. So this is what I would call a water retention pond. I mean, it's hydrating the ground, it's doing good things. You can see erosion here, so you not just have water coming down this way, but from this erosion you can see it coming down from this side too. So this is a lot of water. So when you have a lot of water, you've got that underground flow. Anyway, this is the pond they were most concerned about as far as getting it sealed. But when I was out here, it was like a week after we'd gotten rain, and it was at its overflow point. So if it was leaking, it would already fallen. And we're still at that point. Now, we did get I think at my house we got a ½ inch of rain overnight, yesterday and overnight. But this thing is at capacity. So I think the same thing's happening here. This is a natural pond that when you have enough rain, all that water's falling down into the ground, and when it rains, you got the overflow, surface flow coming in here. But after that's done, you got that secondary water that's coming in underground, coming in down into this point also. And this, the clarity of it, much clearer than my ponds. I really think that they've got this underground flow coming, because after a ½ inch of rain yesterday, this thing would just be, even right here where it's maybe 4 inches deep, 6 inches deep, we're going out further, you wouldn't be able to see. So it's got some very good clarity. So getting back to, do you see what I see? Anyway, so that's a real concern right there. So you got two options. One is cut this overflow. I mean, we need to add at least a foot to this dam, or, and I think this may be the better solution, is let's cut a foot out of the overflow. And just looking at the overflow, I have to back up a little bit. I mean, it's still got to go higher to go here, and then we're maybe going, I don't know, 40 feet, and then it starts dropping down. So I would go to that level there and cut it in to here and just lower this pond height by a foot, and that should take care of the concerns of the dam over there. The other thing is keep walking here. And then the other thing is where to take this. We're getting to, I'm gonna walk down here real quick, and this is what I was worried about on my encroachment pond. Actually, it is overflowing right now. I mean, let's see if we can track that. Y'all see that? The water's flowing. I want to see where that's coming from. Okay, so it's essentially a spring. This high spot that I want to cut out, it's actually, the water is actually filtering from the pond and coming out right here. So that's what I'm talking about. Let's just cut it down. I hope these goats are friendly. Anyway, I guess when I was taking a picture in part 2, I saw 2 goats standing up. They were standing up, I guess, eating some of these cedar trees. And while I'm walking down here, look at this. You know, they've eaten every needle as high as they can get. You know, they do a lot of your landscaping for you. I remember getting cows and you're in this area and you can't see through it. But then you have cows or goats, and a year or 2 years later, it looks like an arborist came in because you can see through the land. I mean, because they just eat all the undergrowth. But anyway, I don't know if the landowners knew about this because they're probably not trekking this far into the woods. But see what's happening here? I mean, the dam's right there, and the water is just flowing down, creating this big erosion. I mean, it's wallowing it out here, it's depositing it over here, and then you got this green where the grass is just, I mean, you probably got moisture year round down here, and the grass is showing it. So the biggest thing, and they even added the dam right here to try to push the water around. But I guess my thought was, and this is kind of my new pond, kind of do something similar to it. Just have the water, rather than dumping in here, let's have it come out across and get in position again here. So basically where this tree is, the water's gonna be flowing down here, and let's take it onto as flat of a path as we can, which is gonna be down this way. Rather than immediately dumping down into there, let's take it out this way. Just push it away from the dam, as far away from the dam as we can. And if we can keep it as level to contour as we can, that water is gonna continue to soak in. And then at some point, we just got to figure out where to push it back in. And we're actually getting to the property line here, it looks like. So let's just go take a look. But what I'm thinking about is just at some point turning it down, just like my new pond turns down. And you know, wherever that happens, we'll have to line it with rocks. Like, this is a good area. This is a natural depression right here. So if we could take this area, just line it with big rocks and then put smaller rocks in there, and then let grass grow up in between them to hold it, and let the water gush here. And I think this actually looks like the best spot. So we're coming down this way, and it should be a gradual, no erosion type area if we keep it as close to level as possible. And then let it just swoosh down in here. And let me cut out again. This is for the benefit of the landowner. Let me walk my new pond, and just so she can see what I'm talking about. I'm going to walk it, and then I'm going to show you in a high flow. I'm going to show you both, and you can see what it's doing in that situation. 3, 2, 1. Let's take a look. But this whole overflow is designed to be wide and slow. I mean, they actually went through here when they were building it, made sure this was all level, and he just wanted a soft flow out. And then we'll see where it comes back in. Look at that. This is amazing. We definitely got overflow on the one log dam, which is something I've been excited about. Look at that. So here's all the water coming out. I mean, it's a freaking river. All right, well, I just showed you my personal pond in an overflow event and watching the water go. So now let's look at it with no water flowing. It helps you kind of visualize a little bit better. This is my new pond, and you can see the overflow. They kind of did what y'all or somebody had done on yours. So you got the dam here, but you see how they turned it and dog-legged it, and that keeps the water from coming down onto the backside of the dam. But this whole area was cut into the existing ground, native soil, so it's good and compacted, and then they compacted it with the excavator, so it's good, hard, solid ground. And we're just going to walk the same flow we just walked. Anyway, after it gets past this point, which is past the little side dam they put on, now it's going downhill, and this is where you probably saw some turbulence in the water. But grass is established; it's not really eroding out. But then when it takes the big nose dive, that's where we have this big rock structure. So when it's taking a big downhill push into the seasonal creek or ravine, we've got this rock embankment, and it's actually dammed up too. It's dammed up on this side and dammed up a little bit on this side, so it keeps the water into this area, and that just stops the erosion. So I mean, I really think doing something like this on your pond would be a great idea. Okay, I'm back. So I'm going back to the property line. Okay, it looks like these guys are avid hunters because they've got a 7-foot fence. There's probably some big bucks over there. I do want to take a look at this a little bit closer though. Let's get down in there. All right, so they got the seasonal creek is a creek currently from the overflow of the pond. Anyway, so back to this pond itself though. I would personally not attempt to do any kind of dam it pond sealer. Let's just take a year and look at what's happening. Let's see how quick is the water dropping. What's happening when it rains? Is it, you know, if you get a rain and it stays, you know, stable for a week or 2 or 3 or 6 or 12 weeks after a rain, and then it starts dropping down, that means we're getting that good underground flow. Maybe we deal with a seasonal high and low and keep it a natural pond. I mean, if you don't like that, yeah, of course you can try to seal it better. But I sure like the idea of this being a seasonal pond. Let it breathe, let it go up and down with the seasons. Taking one more walk up here to finish up on this video. But it's such a beautiful pond. Anyway, so just following up what I would do now, cut a foot out of this, get it more level with the surrounding area, let the water travel down, and then let's pick an area to hook left. Wherever that hook left area, we'll put the rocks in, and then just observe this, see what happens. I mean, if it dries out, we can't take the last 2 years and determine that's what's going to happen for the next 2 years going forward. I just think this has such a big catchment area. I think this thing will stay alive, clear, aerated, and just beautiful if we just do nothing but just fix the problems that are there, which is the dam height and the overflow. Anyway, this is just gorgeous. I'm going to pick through the, I don't know if y'all can see, going back this way, you can see the hills in the background. Just a gorgeous area. I think they're lucky to have it, and I think they're concerned about the right things and making this whole land better when they leave than when they bought it. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off there. Hope everybody enjoyed this little mini series. I sure did. Kind of doing something different. And y'all have a great day.